Welcome. I'm Rebecca, and this is yoga. And I welcome you here. Well, those of us, pardon me, in Atlanta are dealing with both allergies because all the flowering trees have bloomed, and also it's now gotten cold again, or chilly anyway. Let's see. It's 50. Okay, that's on the chilly side for us. But I hope you are doing well in your space. And a reminder, if you see me looking over here, it's because I have another screen that gives me a nice big view, a little better than my laptop, which is what I use for recording. So if you see me looking over there, it's because I'm looking at you, even if I'm not. All right. So, my theme for this week is finding the sacred center. We carry our sacredness inside. We carry our nice little sanctuary inside, but we have to find it sometimes. Sometimes we lose track and we need to remember. We also need to strengthen our sacred center, both literally strengthening our core and also spiritually, metaphysically, um, coming back again and again to that sense of our own sacredness, our own um, joy, our own belonging in the world. And so we do that in many ways by physically strengthening, by practicing with our breath, by practicing with meditation. So we will hit a little bit on all of those today in our practice. So let's take a moment to become very present. My cough keeps me present, my allergies. Ah, take a moment to find your meditative seat. I'm listening to a British book on tape, and the woman keeps saying meditative, meditative. So find your meditative seat, feeling a good connection to the earth beneath you, noticing your surroundings today. What can you see in your space? I have a bookcase in front of me and it's very colorful with all the books. And then I have two big windows over here that give me beautiful views of sky and trees. What can you see? And then if you'd like, take a softer gaze or close your eyes and allow your attention to be focused inward, softening into a more internal awareness. Noticing sounds that you hear. Hearing feels like such an internal sense. Can you hear intermittent sounds in your space? Traffic noise, maybe, or birds if they're singing. And what are the constant sounds? Maybe a fan, a heater, or air conditioner. We don't know which one to use. And then begin to notice the inner sound of your own breath as it flows effortlessly, we hope, in and out without restriction, softly and smoothly, to the best of your ability today. Noticing where in the body you feel the breath. Maybe at the tip of your nose. I'm so sorry. Maybe at the tip of your nose or in your chest or belly. Find one sensation And see if you can stay with it through several inhales and exhales. See if you can use your inhales to lengthen the spine, maybe sitting taller or elongating if you're lying down. Allow your exhales to help you let go a little bit more into the support beneath you, your seat, the floor, whatever is holding you up. Letting go through the muscles of your face. We try to control the world with our eyebrows. Let that go. Release your jaw if you can. Letting go through your neck and shoulders. Letting your arms be heavy. Palms open, whether they're down or up. Opening the heart, softening in the upper back. Being very aware of the middle body, the low belly and hips, legs, ankles, and feet. Letting go just a little bit more with each exhale and enlivening a little bit more with each inhale. The inhale brings us energy. We call breath training pranayama, and prana means energy. It is the movement of energy. Let the breath flow. And then bring your hands to your excuse me, to your low belly. And see if you can bring your breath all the way down to your belly. Softening in the shoulders, in the chest, and allowing the breath to drop all the way down to your lowest abdomen. Now, of course, the breath doesn't really go into your belly. But when the diaphragm, which sits underneath our rib cage, presses down to help the lungs fill with air, it creates this sensation of fullness in our low belly. So if you're breathing with your diaphragm, then the belly feels like it expands. So see if you can get that sensation without forcing. It's more of a letting go than a pressing or pushing in any way. We tend to hold our bellies in, thinking that that strengthens us. And it actually makes for weakness in the core. Instead, we want this movement that allows us to strengthen and release. Because, of course, a muscle that's just tightened isn't strong, right? It needs that flexibility and strength. So breathing into the belly a few more times. And then bring your hands to the sides of your ribs. And see if you can feel the breath right here in your rib cage. As you inhale, see if you can press your hands out from the inside. As you exhale, they gently come back in, breathing right into your rib cage. One more. And now, if it's comfortable, bring your hands to gently rest right at heart center, maybe a little bit above. And see if you can very gently bring the breath right here into your hands. Super gentle, not a big, like, with no emergency breath, just a super, super smooth breath right here. And then release all of that. We're going to put it all together to learn Dirga Pranayama, that is yogic breathing. And it's a 3-part breath that starts all the way down in the belly, moves to the ribs, lifts right here at the chest and the crown, and then everything gets released. So it's one inhale that has 3 parts. And if it's helpful, you can sip 3 bits of air and then let it all go, or take a nice long smooth inhale that starts at the belly, moves to the ribs, lifts the heart and the crown, and then releases. So I'll demonstrate and then I'll talk you through this. I'm going to start with hands on my belly. Lift this back a little bit. And inhaling, belly, ribs, chest, and let it all go. So join me in this breath without forcing, without trying to make the breath too big. If you run out of space or it's uncomfortable, just let it go and try on the next inhale. We have more inhales, and those are always new opportunities to start again. We are so blessed. So 3-part Dirga breath, breathing into belly, ribs, chest, and release and let it go. Breathing to belly, ribs, chest. Let it go. A few more. Filling up like water fills a cup from the bottom to the top. So the breath goes down first, rises to the ribs, rises to the collarbones, and then a release, long and smooth. 2 more if you can. Last one. And now release that and come back in to your natural breath, just with awareness of what you noticed in moving through this different breath pattern. Changing our breath is difficult, and especially when there are restrictions from scar tissue or treatments, just whatever you're going through. Even anxiety and stress keeps us locked down, maybe in the gut, maybe here in the chest. And releasing and allowing the breath to just gently move into these spaces can help us in our healing process and in our emotional healing process. So I invite you to come back to this. We will be exploring a few other breaths today. And if breathing is challenging for you today, then just listen and breathe in whatever way you need to. All right, give me 1 second. All right, so let's move into some seated postures. I'm going to move back onto my cushion. And we'll start with our sun breaths. Inhaling and floating arms up. Exhale and release arms down. We'll do a few of these. Seeing if you can connect movement and breath. So it takes the whole inhale for arms to float up or out, just to where it's comfortable, and the whole exhale to release. And now see if you can bring that three-part breath in with the movement. So inhaling to belly, ribs, chest, and long, smooth exhale. Make it your speed. If you need to go faster or slower, whatever works in your body today. Just trying to build awareness. And last time, we'll inhale all the way up and come into a side bend, lowering the right hand, coming up and over. Maybe you bend the elbow and place it behind your head. And here we have the opportunity to really breathe into this side ribs, feeling that expansion. And then inhale up through center and over to the other side. Maybe you have a different arm placement on this side, a long arm or a hand on your hip. And again, with your inhales in the side bend, see if you can bring them right here into the ribs, using an inhale to move over. Let's take our time moving side to side, staying for at least one breath in the side bend. Maybe once more to each side. And this or the next time that you come through center, pause and we'll continue together. Coming into our twist, inhale, reaching up, bringing left hand to right knee, right hand behind you. Inhale to grow tall and exhale, twist, looking towards or over the right shoulder. Inhale in place, making space, noticing what it's like to inhale in a twist. Exhale in the twist, and then inhale through center and go to the other side. Using the breath and your muscles to affect the twist. And the next time that you're inhaling in the twist, see if you can find that three-part inhale, inhaling to belly, to ribs, kind of hard in the twist, up to the clavicles, and exhale, release it. Maybe once more to each side, and then come to rest in the center in our easy pose, Sukhasana. And we'll move on together when you're ready. Bring fingertips behind you and leaning into your fingertips or your palms. Inhale and open the heart. Don't let your head drop though. Reach back through the crown of the head, stretching through the diaphragm, the front of the body, and then carefully walk yourself back to a comfortable seat. We're going to move into some abdominal work that we'll do seated. And it has the appealing name of belly pull-ins. We've done these on hands and knees, and we may do them there as well. But we're going to start seated. So on your inhale, see how much you can soften through the middle body. Let it be Buddha belly. Let it be Poochie, right? And then as you exhale, think about drawing your belly button in as if it could touch the spine behind you, which helps you to engage both sides, front and back of the body. And then on the inhale, let that go. Soften and receive the breath into the belly. Exhale and squeeze in gently, but with great intention, drawing the belly in. Let it go and soften, opening to receive the full breath. And continue. Exhale, squeezing in. Inhale, soften. Move with your own breath speed if I'm going too slowly or too quickly. 2 more. Make sure you're letting go and expanding the belly on the inhale, squeezing in, and release and let go. Let's move into some seated cat-cow. Inhale, get nice and tall, and then exhale, tuck your tail, pull the belly back, and softly release your head. As you inhale, roll the pelvis forward and stretch that front body, lifting the heart, lifting the crown. Pull back with your hands on your knees to help you stretch. Exhale, reverse the direction and open gently between your shoulder blades. Inhale and use the breath to help you stretch through the belly where we've just worked. And a couple more like this. By strengthening our sacred center, our core, we can allow one more breath and come to stillness. We can allow our bones, our skeleton, and our musculature to support us and then let the other muscles go. So we're not constricting and holding in ways that are not serving to us, that create tensions or imbalances in the body, or imbalances that already exist. We want to see if we can create integrity. Just some strength in the core allows everything else to begin to sort itself out. So let's move from here to our tabletop hands and knees position. If that position does not work for you, you can remain seated or even come onto your back with knees bent. I'll slide back here. Make sure if you're on hands and knees that you have something underneath your knees so that there's not a lot of pressure on your kneecaps. And then see if you can find a comfortable hand position, either hands nice and spread wide, or fists or forearms. And we'll start with our belly pull-in. So lengthen the spine, getting nice and long, and without moving your body like we do with cat-cow, keeping your everything in place, we'll just soften and let the breath expand the belly. And then on an exhale, squeeze in and lift the belly up, creating lots of strength. Release that squeeze and soften, letting the belly fill up with breath. Exhale, squeeze in one more time. Inhale, soften once again. Now, I give you the opportunity to come into a plank pose. You can do it with your knees down. Scoot this back. You can come onto your forearms, or you can stay right here in tabletop or any other position that's comfortable for you. But if you're coming into plank, if you're doing it with your knees down, the difference between knee down plank and tabletop is that you walk your hands forward and then stretch in the front of your hips. Maybe you'll curl your toes under and come into a full plank. Now, it requires a lot of strength to keep your back supported, your body supported. So draw those abdominals in and up. Shaking is a good thing, pain is not. So stay with it for another breath or two. And when you're ready to release, if knees are up, bring them down. And then press gently back towards child's pose, maybe coming onto forearms, stacking your hands or fists, or using a block to create some space for breath. We'll stay in child's pose for a few breaths. Inhaling, feel an expansion in the back body, back ribs, back in your low back as well. And as you exhale, see if you can soften just a little bit more. 2 more breaths here. Big inhale into the back and exhale. Last one. Inhale there and exhale, release. And walking back through your tabletop, we will make our way up to standing. If down dog is in your practice and you'd like to use it to transition up to standing, you can follow me. Otherwise, take your time and find some support to come up to standing. If you're coming into down dog, make sure that your hands are a little bit turned out. Curl your toes under and press your hips up and back. Let your knees bend and think about sending your tailbone behind you. Lengthening through the front of the shoulders, the armpits, pressing the floor away. Maybe you bend one knee and then the other, stretching your heel towards the ground. And then bend both knees and slowly walk your hands to your feet, hands to knees. And then inhale and come all the way up. So we don't work very much with down dog, but it's a very strengthening pose. And I'd love to be able to bring it in every once in a while as we're working on strength. So find your Tadasana, mountain pose, feet making good contact with the earth beneath you. Hands come to the top of your hips. And let's rock a little bit, back and forth. Lifting heels, lifting toes. So we're rocking between the balls of the feet and the heels. And then find a place that feels centered on your feet, front to back. Once you get there, see if you can lift your toes and notice if it sends you further back. Just be aware and then see if you can lower your toes without leaning forward again. We often have a little bit of a forward lean and we clench our toes to keep us there. And that can create a lot of tension in the feet, in the legs, even all the way up through the body. So take a moment here, release your arms, shift a little side to side. And once again, bring your hands to your low belly. You can close your eyes if you like or take a soft gaze, but we're going to work once again with our 3-part breath. So breathe down into your hands. And then as you exhale, draw your hands back in, lifting the belly. Inhale and expand. And exhale, squeeze in. And try to do this without changing your pelvis too much, right? We're just moving the muscles. Now bring your hands to the outsides of your rib cage and see if you can bring the breath right here. And finally, hands just below your collarbones. Gentle breath right here. And then we'll put it all together once again, breathing into belly, ribs, chest. Exhale. Move on your own speed. 3-part inhale, 1 long exhale. You don't have to use your hands. One more. And release that. Let it go. Shake it out. You could do a little twist if you like. And now come to stillness and take a moment to notice how much awareness you have of your middle body. I know even for myself that I'm feeling all of that engagement that we've done, lower belly, middle belly, even in through the muscles of the upper chest. Can you feel that engagement, that little bit of extra support in the body? We're going to move into our tree pose, Rakshasana. So it's our balance practice. So please find support as you need it, either from the wall or a chair or other piece of furniture. Come to stillness and begin to hug your legs in towards center. That first action says, I'm awake and vibrant, right? We're not just sort of, hanging out. We're working. This is a pose. So drawing legs in. See if you can lift your pelvic floor gently. Lift your low belly. Draw in here. Lift through the top of the chest and the crown, and then bring arms down, finding this nice strong mountain, sturdy, solid, and supported. From here, let's take a breath in, palms meet. Exhale, bring hands to heart center, or maybe one hand on the heart and one on your support. Take a moment to spy your drishti, your focal point, but keep that awareness of this gentle hugging in and lifting. It helps us to get up and out of our feet, right? It gives us a little more buoyancy. The breath helps us to lift. From here, we'll slowly shift into one leg. I'm shifting into my left and finding the foot position with the right, either at the ankle, calf, or thigh, above or below the knee. Keep that sense of the lift from all the way from your feet through the center legs, pelvic floor, low belly, all the way up. And maybe you can grow some branches. See if you can find a moment of stillness before you come back down to earth. Walk it out when you're ready. No rush, take your time. And then reestablish that strong Tadasana, mountain pose. Lots of energy, lifting, moving through the body with the breath. Then we shift into our pose, our next pose, Rakshasana. Finding strength and support so that we can grow, lifting from our center, branches supported, lifting towards the sky. One moment of stillness, if you can, before you come back to earth. And when you're ready, shake that out and come to stillness. Beautiful, beautiful practice. So let's do one more standing sequence, and we'll work with our goddess pose. So step out nice and wide, and then turn out from the hips. So your heels come in and your toes go out about 45 degrees. And yes, we can all be goddesses today. It is an ungendered goddess. Inhale and bring your arms just to shoulder height, reaching out through your fingertips. We are 5-pointed stars here. Can you see that the center of the star is right here in our middle belly, where we've been creating more and more strength? So feel that strong core that allows us to extend and grow and get bigger and stronger. Big inhale here. Turn your arms over, palms towards the ceiling. And then on your exhale, bend knees and elbows and slowly drop into goddess. Now you can do this seated. You can do this in a chair. Just walk your feet out wide, sit up nice and tall, and find the arm position. From here, big inhale, opening up. Exhale, hands to heart center, coming back to that midline, that strength. Exhale, see if you can deepen your pose a little bit. And then on your inhale, open up and reach. But don't forget the core, right? It's very easy to kind of send our bottoms behind us. Keep them underneath you so that you have this nice strength right here. Turn the arms over and exhale, drop into goddess. Shift a little from side to side if that feels okay. Coming to center, inhale, open. Exhale, hands together at heart center. From here, we're going to come up onto the ball of the left foot. So I'm just lifting my heel. And then I'll place it back down. I'm going to lift my right heel and place it back down. And now I'm going to gently and carefully lift both heels and place them back down. Sit a little lower and open up. Release arms down and carefully walk your feet back in towards center. Nice. Do you feel the energy building, getting stronger and stronger? Step out medium wide, maybe not quite mat width, but maybe. We'll come into some half moon pose. Inhale, arms come up. Bring your palms together, either overhead or in front, whatever feels more natural. And release your index fingers. I have my fingers intertwined on my index finger pressing. Now, if you can, reach up tall. If not, you can be right here. Inhale in place. As you exhale, bring your hips to the right and come up and over to the left. But think more diagonal, like you're reaching towards the corner where the ceiling and the wall meet. If you need more support, bring your hand to your hip. You can bring your other hand behind your head. Inhale in place, feeling that same opening in the side of the ribs. And then next inhale, come up through center, and we'll go to the other side. Exhale, slide over to the left, come up and over to the right. So the hips go one way, and then we can come up and over. And that helps us to create this long line of stretch along the side body. Inhale up through center, maybe once more to each side, moving on your own, staying for a breath if you'd like, and then making your way to the other side. Inhale up through center and exhale. Release down, step a little wider if you'd like, and we'll come once again into our Tai Chi Twist, letting it go. Are you aware of that core of strength? Can you feel it? Allow this twisting to fade and come back to center. Step your feet back in. We'll make our way down to sitting once again. Bringing soles of feet together, knees apart, and just a gentle rock in place. Take your time. And coming through center, bring your fingertips behind you. And see if you can walk your feet out in front. You can see where I am. So I have my hands behind me, supporting me. I'm a little bit angled back, right? My spine is nice and long. I'm sitting up tall, and my feet are a little bit wide. From here, I'm going to raise my right leg. I'm staying bent at the knee. I'm just lifting it up and placing it back down. You can do this in a chair as well. I'll move to the other side. And now you can continue this kind of march, finding that engagement in the middle body to help support your legs. Or if you'd like, you can try bringing both legs up. Little shaking is involved, even for me. Even for me. I have much strength to build in my own core. Take your time working with one or both legs. And then when you feel like you have explored this practice, stretch your legs out and come up. And little tiny shifts from hip to hip, maybe little bounces, and maybe a little windshield wiper. I think we may need those today. Walk your feet in a little closer and slowly make your way down onto your back. We'll arrive with knees bent and feet on the mat. Once you, once you arrive, I'd like you to find your hip points. So those are the bony front of your hip bones, called the anterior superior iliac spine, ASIS. But you don't need to know that, just your hip bones, right? And drop your fingers just medial, so towards your belly of the bones. Just rest your fingers there. And now I'd like us to do a breath. We'll inhale, and then as we exhale, we're going to use a shh breath. So like you're telling your kids to be quiet, or somebody at the movie theater when we go to the movie theaters again. Okay, so inhale. And inhale and relax. Now, was anyone aware, you don't have to actually answer this, just think about, were you aware of any engagement in your low belly, right where your hands are, when you made that shh breath? Yes or no, just be aware of the answer. And now we're going to do just a tiny, tiny little cough and see if you can feel that the muscles here pop up. We are working with the Transversus Abdominis, this wonderful muscle that wraps all the way around, and it's like a corset that keeps us together. We want to be able to strengthen it. We're all aware of our six-pack muscles, right? Or the ones we want or used to have, or I don't know, maybe you have them right now. But this is a deeper muscle, and it really is extremely important to keeping our core strong and keeping us able to do the things that we want and need to do. So bringing your hands back to the hip points, slide them a little bit in towards each other, and we'll do 3 sh breaths, sh breaths. Just notice. And come back to stillness. You can allow your arms to relax. Keeping your attention fixed on that area of the low belly. We're just going to do a little bit of marching in place. So on an exhale with a shh, like we've been doing, we'll lift one leg, put it down on the inhale, and then lift the other leg on the shh. So inhaling. Shh. I'm just gently lifting my knee up. Inhale, release it. Shh. Other side. You can keep your hands at your hip points if that's helpful. The next time you come to stillness, stay there for a moment. We're going to do the same thing one more time, but I want you to start your exhale before you lift your knee and see if you can feel the engagement in the low abdomen. So we'll inhale, we'll start our exhale, and then lift the knee. Put it back down on the inhale, start the exhale with the shh, and then lift the other leg, okay? So inhaling together, start the exhale, shh, and lift the knee. Inhale, place it down. Start your exhale, shh, lift the knee, shh. Inhale, place it down. And we'll just try this a few more times together. Inhale and exhale. Whew, let it go. Let it go completely. And if you'd like, draw your knees up towards your shoulders, maybe rocking a little bit from side to side. Now, holding on to one knee, allow the other foot to come down and maybe slide out long, pressing out through the heel, opening up in the front of that hip in order to soften and stretch out some of the work that we've done. So just holding here if this is comfortable for you. And draw that knee back in, maybe rock again, and we'll switch sides. So lower the foot, that may be just right, or maybe you'd like to slide the leg out, pressing out through your heel, opening up the front of that hip. Next exhale, draw both knees up and bring your arms out, either in goalpost or goddess, or out like a T. Inhale in place and exhale, begin to slowly drop your knees to one side. Don't let your shoulder come off the ground, either shoulder. Stop before the shoulder comes off the ground. Inhale back to center and exhale to the other side. Take your time moving side to side. If it's comfortable for you and your knees can reach down, or if you have your pillow nearby, you can prop your knees. You can stay for a couple of breaths on one side with your head either turning away from your knees or towards them. But if this is too much of a twist, then please come out, and you can do the side to side, or bring your feet down, walk them out wide, and do the twist that we often do. If you're working here, inhale up through center and to the other side. And take your time. The twist helps us to stretch through some of those abdominal muscles that we've been using. Inhale up to center and take the next few minutes to see if there are any additional poses that your body is asking for. And when your practice is complete, go ahead and come into your comfortable position for Shavasana, our resting pose. You might want to try extending arms and legs for just a moment, feeling a nice opening across the abdomen. This may not be ideal for everyone. And then begin to make your way into your pose for Shavasana. And once you arrive, make sure you feel comfortable and supported. Maybe with pillows under your knees and a pillow under your head, a blanket, your legs up on a chair or couch, or lying on your side, or even sitting. Let go of any control of the breath. Just allow it to be comfortable and easy, letting go a little bit more with each exhale, opening up a little bit more with each inhale, releasing the practice and letting go, softening and resting. The gentle is powerful. I'm looking at a river flow, a steady, slow stream. There are heavy rocks anchored beneath the pulsing river. I lean forward to sense the depth and touch the movement of this moment. Up close, I see the rocks worn, clearly affected, transformed even by the ambling, unhurried dance of water passing eternity after eternity over them. I look to the river to teach me a way to live, exist, and be. Begin to deepen your breath, bringing small movements into fingers and toes. When you feel ready, roll to one side and pause. And then press yourself up to sitting, allowing your attention to stay deeply inward for another moment or two. We'll seal our practice with one chant of Om for the community we create when we practice together. Bringing hands to heart center, we'll inhale together. Om Shanti, peace, peace, peace. Jai Bhagwan. May the light in you be victorious. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me and with each other.